Hey, this is Ron Douglas. I'm here with Alice Seba, and today we're going to talk about a new project that we have that's going to help a lot of writers, but we're also going to talk about how to write for a living and the biggest obstacles and mindset shifts that you have to you have to overcome to kind of get there. And Alice Seba is the perfect person to be talking about this because she's been writing for a living and people have been buying her writing for years and years and years. I know she doesn't look like that old, but she's been doing it how many years? 15 years or something?
13.
13 years, over 20,000 customers.
13.
Yeah. And, I've been writing for a living. I've been writing emails. I've been building audiences online. I've been writing books. I'm mostly known, I suppose, for writing books. I've sold over 1.4 million books. And I'm a New York Times best-selling author. So I guess you guys are in the right place if you want to learn how to monetize your writing, how to build a following, how to market yourself, market your writing services online. And I wanted to show this image. Let's see if I could do a screen share, if I could figure this out. I wanted to show this image today. Entire screen of a post that my buddy Ben Atkins made. Can you see that, Alice?
Yep.
Yeah.
Except for when I'm talking. I have to be quiet.
Yeah. So my buddy Ben Atkins, and this was timely. This was like, the other day, right as we were doing this project, working on this presentation, he made this post, and it just makes a lot of sense. It says, if you're not making money online yet, and you just want to get a win, start an online service business. There are a ton of folks willing to pay you. There are a ton of folks willing to pay money for people to write good blog content, write copy. So you notice all the things he's talking about here. 90% of them are writing, right? Press releases, and a million other things, transcribe, product videos, and webinars. So it just goes to show you, these are some of the services that it's easy to market online because they're 100,000 internet marketers at least that are looking for these services and looking to get this stuff done. I just hired a guy yesterday to do video transcription. So, if you're sitting at home wondering, what can I do to make some extra money from home? Writing is always in demand. And part of the program that we're going to be doing is going to show you how to find people who are eager to pay you for writing, or how to monetize your own writing skills as well, how to make money, how to do SEO from your writing and monetize that, writing reviews to promote other people's products. There's so many different ways you can do it, how to find jobs and freelance gigs that are available out there right now that you might not even be aware of. So that's a project we're working on. It's called writerhelpwanted.com. And it's going to be coming out next Thursday, the 28th. And everybody that signed up for this presentation is to look out for that. In the next few days, we're going to be sending emails kind of telling you a little bit more about it and what it's going to be about and how it's going to benefit you personally. But we're very, very excited about this, and we're looking to help a lot of people just get over that hump. And speaking of getting over that hump, it's a good segue into what we're going to talk about today, which are the 5 obstacles you need to overcome to really get there. So we're going to run through those. The first obstacle, and we took a survey, Alice actually took a survey of her audience, and they came back with, a lot of them came back with similar themes, similar topics for what their problems were. And, the first topic we're going to talk about is just not having enough time. Like, what do you think about that? That's a huge problem for a lot of people, especially, 90% of the people, even more, are doing this part-time, just trying to make a little bit of extra money. So not having enough time is an issue for a lot of people.
Yeah. Or not thinking that they don't have enough time, because really nobody has enough time. Everybody has too much stuff to do. And I actually kind of embrace that sometimes, that I find there's always something going on right here. I've got 3 children, husband, 2 dogs, sports to deal with, school stuff, whatever. It's always something going on. And I find the times where, like, say they're going away or whatever, and I'm home alone, is the time where I actually don't know what to do with my time, because it's so wide open and I have so much time that I have troubles figuring out what to do first and what next. So I find when I have that small block of time, I know how to fill it. So it's just, shifting your mind from thinking that not enough time and finding the time and, squeezing it in where it goes, and you'll be more focused while you're doing it. So if you think you got 8 hours to write something, you're going to probably go to Facebook and do other things and not, use that 8 hours wisely, as though if you knew you had an hour, then you would do it much more focused.
Right. And me personally, I worked on my internet business from 2001 to about 2007, part-time. A lot of people don't know that. And I was working, 40 to 60 hours a week on Wall Street at JP Morgan. So I had to hustle. I had nights and weekends, and that's when I got it done. And by the time I left JP Morgan Chase, I was making as much from my part-time business as I was from the salary that they were paying me. So, you just have to find the time to do it. And if you do 3 things every day, at the end of a month, you'll have 90 things done. Just think about that. So the night before, you have to write down what you need to get done, right? And then you just get it done, right? And cross it off the list. And it becomes a habit. Like finding time to do things becomes a habit for you. Whereas if you have consistent good practices in terms of writing things down, making a to-do list, feeling the gratification of being able to cross those things off the list, and having clarity the night before what you're going to actually do for the next day, you'll find that makes a huge impact on the amount of stuff that you get done in your overall productivity. Do you have a to-do list, Alice?
Always.
Always, right? It's like you have to have a to-do list.
I always plan everything like a week in advance, and then the night before kind of looking and then refining it or whatever. But yeah, I totally have to figure out when everything has to get done. And I think people can also look at like all the things they're doing. If you think they don't have time, but they have time for TV and things like other things that are kind of time wasters, which are wonderful. TV is great, but if you want to get something done, it's probably something that can be put aside for a while. Use that time to do something else.
Right. Turn off the TV. You're going to miss some shows, DVR them or whatever you need to do.
Yes.
Cut off distractions and just focus in. Get into the habit of focusing on what you need to do. And, you'll be surprised at what you can accomplish. I mean, the other thing is, I just thought of something and it just lost me completely.
Lost it. Don't think of it at the time.
No, it'll come back to me in a second.
Yes. We get kind of also not thinking you don't have enough time is also stressful. And I think it's important to do things that relieve stress. Like if people are so busy, the last thing they sometimes think about doing is exercise or something that will give them more energy, make them feel like they can do work. But it's important to schedule stuff like that in as well, to just, to clear your head and be able to focus and get back to doing something. Like that's what I hate at the end of the day is if I have supposed to go to karate class at 6:30, it's like I don't feel like it, I'm tired and whatever. But if I go, then after that I feel much more energetic and I could do more stuff than had I stayed home and just been stressed and thinking I didn't have time to do anything.
For sure. But here it came back to me. It was when you feel like you don't have enough time, a lot of times it's because you haven't quite figured out what you need to do and how to do it. And then, you can get frustrated trying to install a blog and you sit there for like 3 and 4 hours trying to figure it out. Whereas you can outsource stuff. You can get people to do stuff for relatively cheap. You can find a virtual assistant on Odesk or what's that site now, Upwork.com or Freelancer or any of these sites that can do stuff for you for pretty cheap. I mean, I have a guy that works for me, for less than $5 an hour. He knows how to install blogs. He does graphics. He does all type of different things like that. So don't get so caught up in you have to do everything yourself. If you don't have enough time, it's probably because, you're making money and that's where most of your time is going doing other stuff. Maybe you have a job or, you have money coming in. So that's the thing you have that's good. And you have that paycheck coming in. So use some of that money to free your time up and focus on the things that you really know how to do that generate revenue. And then, don't be afraid to spend a little money to get other things done. It's just going to be a huge time suck if you try to do it yourself.
Yeah, and you can even do that with your personal things that you have to do too, right? Whether it's house cleaning or mowing the lawn or something, everything that you can get a little bit of help with is giving you more time to do other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if you're sitting on the couch and the remote is on the other side of the room and your son happens to be downstairs, those kids need exercise. Call them up. Hey, come get that remote for me.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. So The next obstacle we want to talk about is lack of confidence, which is a major issue for a lot of people. And I think lack of confidence, the more you start to do stuff and take action and put stuff into motion and into production, the more confidence you get. Like action kind of breeds confidence, right? Because you're able to look back at those things you've done and say, okay, that worked out. Let me move on to the next step. So I think the first thing about confidence is just doing stuff, just getting in the habit of doing stuff. And the thing is, like, nobody's going to give you permission. You know, the thing about working for yourself is nobody's going to be over your head saying you need to get this done, unless you have a partner like Alice, of course, who is constantly on top of me. But nobody, you have to be responsible for getting stuff done, and you just have to do it. And nobody's going to give you permission and say, you know, I think you should do this. You know, you just have to go ahead and do it. It doesn't matter. Like, all of us start from the same place. You know, I didn't know anything about internet marketing or anything about just building websites or creating products, anything like that when I first started, but I didn't care. I didn't care what people thought. All I cared about was I'm going to be helping some people. I'm putting together my best product. I'm putting together my best work, and I'm going to put it out there, and I'm going to sell it. And, you know, at the end of the day, nobody really cares. They, you know, people expect that other people are going to be making money. Other people are going to be putting stuff out there, and don't really think that, okay, everybody's going to be judging me by, you know, what I'm putting out there, what I'm producing. Everybody's judging everybody. It doesn't even matter in the big scheme of things. Just get, you know, do what you have to do to pay your bills and not worry. I mean, I would say that's my main thing in terms of confidence. What would you say, Alex?
Well, I think also when it comes to whatever writing or products they're going to produce, is that as the writer, you get to decide what it is, and people get to decide whether they like it or not. And a lot of people aren't going to like it, and that doesn't matter. Other people aren't even going to care. They're not even going to look. Some people will hate it, whatever. But you are building an audience of people that are interested in what you have to offer. So you put it out there, and the people who are interested are going to stick with you. And those are the people that you want anyway. So the people that are going to buy stuff from you. So you can't please everybody, and there's no point in trying. So just let it be. I also think that the confidence issue for writers is in a few different areas, and also writers who want to make money with their writing, which is a separate step sometimes, but it's the confidence in the writing skills and maybe in their knowledge, and also in when it comes to selling an information product or an ebook, you know, confidence in that product. And then also when it comes to actually selling the product, people have this worry that they shouldn't bother people to buy stuff. And I think that's something important to get past, because again, you're putting it out there. You inside know it's good, but you're just worried what other people say. So you got to just get it there. And, you know, if it's useful, it's actually a service to people to sell stuff to them, because they want to buy products that are useful. So it's not a bother, even though I know a lot of people really worry about that, and they don't want to seem like they're pushing things on people.
Right, exactly. I mean, to me, lack of confidence is just like something that you need to kind of ignore and kind of say, okay, I'm just going to do stuff anyway, and then I'm going to get confidence as I'm doing things, and I'm going to do my best job. And that's all you can really do is your best, and don't worry about all the other stuff. You know, confidence, I think, grows over time as you're making money and as you're putting your stuff out there. So, you know, my thing back in 2001 when I first got started was I was just going to throw a bunch of stuff against the wall and see what stuck. I mean, honestly, you know.
That sounds like you.
Yeah, nobody knew me. I was just throwing it out there. And my big breakthrough early on in my career was the cooking site, recipesecrets.net. And that really started as a project I really just kind of threw out there to see if it would stick. I had no idea that it would sell. I had no idea that it would be as big as it got, obviously. But I kind of, when I did it, I put the website out there. I was using front page. I was using Microsoft clip art. I didn't have a cover for the cookbook that I was selling, the ebook. I kind of just did it myself on I wish I could show it to you. It was so ghetto. It was so ugly, but it sold. It started making sales. And I realized it wasn't about the look of it so much. I mean, obviously improving the look would help it. It was about the concept, and it was about what it contained, what the product was. And I figured if that could sell, imagine if I put some time into it, make it look nice, to fix it up, to expand it, to make it more, beneficial to people, then it could really sell. And that was my motivation. So I started getting more confidence as the money started coming in. I'm like, well, this is working. Let me keep focusing on it. I focused on it. I focused on it. It became my pet project. It became my baby, and it just grew to this big giant thing. So, I would say I didn't have full confidence that it was going to work out, but I didn't care. I mean, I was young. I was just throwing stuff out there to see what stuck. And that's the kind of the attitude you have to have.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. I think there's some I don't know why, but I can't enable the Q&A feature. And then on the page, if whoever's watching now, if you're on the page where the video is showing, you can leave a comment there, and I'll go back and check if there's questions there. I don't know how the other questions get submitted, but it's not working on the screen. But I'll keep checking back. And then what was I going to say? I was going to say something too. I think also when people are working with clients and things too, is that you're worried about what your client's going to say, and the feedback from them is an opportunity to improve. Some clients are crazy and they have weird demands and they want the weird stuff, but it's your job still to deliver the kind of writing that they want. But learn to not to take that personally, and it's a business thing, right? They need what they need. It's not a reflection on you as a person or anything like that. So just take the time to listen and actually apply that feedback, because a lot of it is good constructive criticism that will help you write better. So I think that's the one thing that keeps a lot of writers from getting better at what they're doing, is because they feel it's so personal to them. And particularly if you're ghostwriting or something like that, you have no control over that product at all. It's the client. The client totally gets to decide what it is. Your name's not on it. You're delivering exactly what they want. So just, remove yourself from that, and don't think about what, if it's a reflection on your talents or anything like that, because it really isn't.
Right, exactly. And that's actually a good segue into the next obstacle, which is perfectionism. A lot of people have this as an obstacle, and it ties in with lack of confidence also, and lack of time also as well, I would imagine, because you want to spend a lot of time getting things perfect, but things don't have to be perfect. If you spend a lot of time just waiting for it to be perfect, you might not ever get it out there. So I would say perfectionism is an obstacle for a lot of people, because they're afraid of being judged. Like, what if people don't like this? But people don't know what the product is supposed to look like. All they know is like what you put out. As long as it's good quality work, you don't have to worry about it being perfect, because it's never going to be perfect. And the thing I like to tell people about perfectionism is, if you ever look at Apple and what they do, how many times do they put out a product and then something's wrong with it? Like, they put out, what was it, the iPhone, and they try to use some map feature, and it was a complete disaster, and they had to go back to the drawing board. But they still made a lot of money, and they still have a lot of loyal customers from it. But a lot of times you won't find out problems with things you put out until you put it out there, and then you can improve it as you go along. But don't let it stop you from getting stuff out there, because there's only so much you can do to make something perfect, and then you have to get feedback from other people, feedback from customers, feedback from people online, feedback from clients, to let you know what needs to be changed, and you can change it as you go along. So don't let that stop you from getting it out there, I would say.
Exactly. And in the world of the internet, if you're publishing information products and you're selling them yourself, or ebooks, you can get the new version into people's hands. You can update the site where they go to download stuff. So it can always be improved. I also think perfectionism is tied in with procrastination. Some people aren't perfectionists. I think they just have troubles getting things done. So if you call yourself a perfectionist and then, it takes you forever to get something done, it's probably just you not getting the things done that you need to do. I think when we say perfectionism, we think it's a more positive thing than when we say procrastination. But if you're starting things and not finishing them, and you quit other things easily, that's that's what you're doing. It's not a positive thing. It can be good. I mean, obviously, to want to have things good quality is a good thing, but if you can't get anything done, then that's not so good.
Right, and you can't use "I'm a perfectionist" as an excuse for inaction or not getting stuff done. Sure, you have to eliminate excuses. Period. There's no excuse. Just get it done. That's the attitude you have to have.
Yeah.
So.
And if you're working with clients too, and they have deadlines, you have a deadline that you're supposed to follow, and you're trying, if you're not meeting those, that's going to be a problem getting more work or getting referrals from them. So you have to figure that part out. Yeah.
I'll tell you a crazy story. Like, I had these 2 cookbooks that I was self-publishing, and I was selling them on my website for years and years and years. And I had an editor go through it before I put it out, edited it, did everything. I thought it was perfect, right? It was out there. And when I got a book deal with Simon & Schuster years later, they took those 2 cookbooks and they combined them into one book, and that became my first book with Simon & Schuster called America's Most Wanted Recipes. And they ran that book through their professional editors that they use for all their books. And I found so many mistakes in that thing that I didn't know was there. It was hilarious. It took us like 3 weeks to get through all of the edits. And I've been selling that thing with no complaint, like very few complaints from customers, people loved it. If you go to my site, I have a list of customer reviews and testimonials, and these are all from the old book that had all of these grammatical mistakes and typos and all type of like measuring mistakes, and it's just ridiculous how many mistakes it had. And I just had to laugh at myself because I made so much money. I sold 60,000 copies of those things before I got the book deal, and nobody even noticed a lot of these. Maybe they noticed and didn't say anything, but if I was a perfectionist, I would have never gotten to where I am today. That's
a good point too. And I've thought about it too, because I'm doing a lot of the writing for what we're working on and launching next week. And I know it's going to be released to writers. So I'm thinking they're going to be analyzing my grammar and all these things. And then it made me think of that too, that, if someone signs up and they're focused on those errors I've made, then they're looking at the wrong thing. Because if you want to make money from your writing, the quality is important, but it's the overall message that's much more important, and also how you market yourself, how you set yourself up to earn money from that writing. So, putting the focus on that is the wrong place to be. So don't criticize my writing because they're relevant.
Yeah. She's just making an example that you should follow of not being a perfectionist.
Yeah, and don't pick on me because I'll tell you, you're focusing on the wrong thing.
All right, the 4th obstacle is complacency. Complacency, and this is one that I struggle with myself at times. Complacency is not getting stuff done basically because you're happy with where you are. You're comfortable. You're complacent. You don't feel like you have to. You don't have that same drive because you don't have to. People do stuff when they have to do it. When your back's against the wall, you'll be amazed at what you can get accomplished when your back's against the wall and you have to come out fighting and you have no choice. What was that story about the army? It wasn't an army. It was a group of soldiers where they went out to battle, went into the enemy's territory. Was that Napoleon? And he burnt the bridges behind them, so they had no choice but to win the war because there was no turning back.
Right.
That's like if you have no choice but to get it done. So the way you deal with complacency, I think, is to set realistic goals for yourself, short-term goals for yourself, and to set deadlines for reaching those goals. And get into the habit of when you reach a goal, even if it's a short-term goal, even if it's like something you have to do today and you got it done, then get into the habit of rewarding yourself. Celebrate. Eat some chocolate. Watch a movie, get some ice cream, do something to kind of confirm that reward in the back of your mind that I set these goals, I'm going to reach these goals, and it's going to feel really good. I'm going to have some wine from Canada once I'm finished.
Boxed wine, yes. Yeah, and I was going to say that too, like that the goal should have a reason why. So even if it is something as simple as a reward you're going to give yourself, then that certainly helps. And also maybe getting an accountability partner or hiring a coach or something. I'm not a particularly competitive person. I kind of try to compete against myself, maybe try to be better. But if I do it, so I won't naturally seek out something competitive, but if I do talk to a friend or something and say I'm going to do this, then that tends to come out in me more, and then I will be more competitive and try to go ahead. So maybe it's just doing that, talking to somebody else who's trying to do similar things to you, and encouraging each other to move forward.
Yeah, and definitely get out of your comfort zone is the main thing. I mean, you get complacent because you're comfortable. Get out of your comfort zone. Set goals. Like, make a vision board is one of the things I do, and have a vision for how life could be better for you if you strive for these goals and stop being complacent and stop being comfortable. Make kind of outline your ideal life, your ideal lifestyle, your ideal income level, your ideal vacation that you want to take every year, or group of vacations, your ideal people you want to associate with, and make a vision board of what that should look like. And it kind of keeps you motivated if you look at it every day and say, these are my goals and I need to step out of my comfort zone and really get this stuff done. The other thing, which ties into the program that we're releasing next week, the 28th, Thursday the 28th, on writerhelpwanted.com, which you guys are on the notification list for. The program that we're going to release, we're going to have a special group, an accountability group, that's going to help people with their complacency. You'll be able to list what your goal is and what you're trying to accomplish, and by when, and we'll be able to help you in our support group kind of get this stuff done and stay on top of you to get it done. So we're going to have a group component to it as well, where we work together to support each other and not just alert you of new gigs and jobs that we have available and new things that we know about online, but also to have that accountability and to keep you motivated as well to really reach your goals and stop being complacent, and to have Alice crack the whip whenever she feels like you're being complacent.
I'm not too busy doing that to you. I will try to help everybody else. But it's also sometimes get complacent because we're bored. So if you're doing a certain type of writing, you're writing articles for a client or something, and you want to do something else, there are so many other things you can do with writing. Or if you're trying to write Kindle books, there's so many options. And then one of the things we have 36 different market ideas, and like different ways you can approach them too, whether you want to work for clients or you kind of want to do something on your own, where releasing information products or doing membership sites and things like that. So there's so many options. So if you're bored of what you're doing, do something different.
For sure. And that brings us to our last point here. The fifth obstacle is not being resourceful, not using your resources and letting that stop you from getting stuff done. And I kind of talked about that a little bit when we talked about not enough time. So I guess a little bit of overlap, but people have all the resources in the world online that they just are not aware of or don't utilize the right way. How many times do you buy something and just let it sit on your computer and not even use it? You buy a product and you don't even open it, don't even read through it, or you have contacts that you're not using, you're not following up with people, or there's events you're not going to, you're not utilizing your resources, or there's people that can get stuff done for you, but you're just not reaching out to contact them. So I think a big part of this is you'll learn to be more resourceful if you want to get things done online. You'll know how to search for the tools that you need. You know how to ask the right questions. You'll know how to join the right groups. And a big part of that also is this group that we're starting will make you more resourceful, because you're going to ask us questions like, what's the best software to use for this? Who's the best service provider to use for this? But, the point is you have to get stuff done and you have to be resourceful to do it. And it's just knowing the right people to contact, asking the right questions, and utilizing those resources when you have them.
Yeah. I think people also really overthink their options. So if they are going to sell an ebook, then they think all these different ways they could possibly do it, and they're worried about every tiny little step, when And I understand that it's hard for a lot of people. I'm the kind of person who doesn't want to sit and read every little idea or ebook or whatever that tells me how to do this stuff. I'd rather just go do it, see if I mess it up, I can fix it. But I know a lot of people aren't like that, but I think it's important to start being like that. So if it's just one decision that you need to make, like say where you're going to sell your ebook, and you could sell it so many different places like ClickBank, JVZoo, from your own site, using the different software. Just make that one decision, and you'll be surprised at how much easier it just becomes to make other little decisions that you need to do, because everything can be changed, and or you can also adapt to everything that you have and you work with it, because nothing's perfect. No system is perfect. I'm still on the hunt for the perfect way to sell my products, but I've put that aside because I just deal with what I have, because it's what's more important is that I'm selling my stuff, and I am. So good enough, right?
Right. And the other point about resourcefulness is people use it, a lack of resourcefulness, as a kind of like subconscious excuse for not getting stuff done. And they say things like, I'm not good at that. I'm not good at technical stuff. I'm not good at building websites. I'm not good. I mean, you don't have to even build a website, but I'm just saying it's in general. It's one of the main excuses that people have. I'm not, a good copywriter, or I'm not good at networking or interacting with people, or all these different things. And you should really learn to be more resourceful and get things done, and talk to the right people that can help you get those stuff done, get those things done. Like if you have a product, for instance, and you're not good at networking and things like that, there's people like joint venture brokers that you can contact that can help you promote those products. So you could partner with somebody who has an audience. If you're not good at getting traffic, you could partner with someone who has traffic, or you can make a win-win proposal, build a relationship with someone who has traffic where they see the value in promoting your product. So it's really no excuse for not getting it done. It's just using that lack of resourcefulness as an excuse. Like people might say I'm too old, or too old to get this done, or don't have enough time, or all these different excuses, and a lot of things you could track back to just being more resourceful and finding a way to get it done.
Yeah, you mentioned something very important too, is knowing people. And at the first, it's you don't know anybody, but you can get out there and you can hang out with us. You can join different groups and things, and it's important to start to get to know people, because they are the people that are going to promote you. They're the people you can work with on different projects. They're the people you can hire for pay as well. And from after all these years now, when I run into a problem and I don't know how to do something, I always know who I could ask. And that comes through time. That's not at the very beginning, but it's important that I develop those relationships, because now I know a variety of people who are good with the technical stuff or the marketing stuff or whatever it happens to be. So yeah, definitely make sure you're getting to know other writers and other people, online marketers as well, because this is what you're going to be doing if you want to, make a living with writing from home. You're going to need to learn some of those skills, whether you're selling on Kindle or you're doing other stuff. There's going to be an online component of that, and learning those things and connecting with those people is going to be very important.
For sure. And the other thing is, the networking part of it, like you mentioned, we're going to be helping people with that in terms of getting in this group. Some of the people we have in this group, and some of the people you're going to be learning from besides us, are really established writers, really good professional writers, really people that have been making money a long time doing it. Looking at a list of people here that we have that have contributed to the product. We have Fred Stroppel. Fred was the lead writer for television shows, kids TV shows, Oswald and Wild Wild Websy. He's contributed to the product. He's done off-Broadway shows. He's really writer royalty. This guy's been writing screenwrites and plays and all type of books and television shows and even movies even for a long time. So he's lending his experience to the project as well. We have this Garnett Miller. Garnett? Did I say that right? Garnett Miller. She's actually a working home, well, not a working home mom. She's someone who was a medical technologist, a nursing technologist, and her two kids were going to school. and she had to find a way to pay for her 2 kids' college tuition. So she turned to her writing skills to do it, and she established a large clientele of people who wanted to pay her for her writing, and she was able to pay her kids college tuition with her writing income, her second income after she got off work. She was able to build a nice second income. She's a really inspiring story for people who are in the same situation, who just need to make a little more income through their writing. And there's no reason, like if you're a decent writer, there's no reason you can't make an income online. And we're going to show you exactly how to do it. We have Lynn Terry, who contributed to the project as well. Lynn Terry is one of the biggest super affiliates online. She's a blogger extraordinaire. She makes a lot of money just blogging about things that she does. Like she blogs about her low carb diet, and has a huge following. So she's an expert at building an audience for her writing and building an audience for her blogging and her social media, and then recommending products that will help that audience. So she's like one of the biggest blogging super affiliates online. And who else we have? We have Derek Pankow. I probably should not. Does he want to be anonymous?
No, it's okay. It's not in writing. You're allowed to say his name.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Derek, this guy is amazing. He travels the world and he supports that with his writing income. He really lives the dream lifestyle. He's in Europe and Asia and all type of different countries in the Caribbean. He's just all over the world.
Yeah, he traveled for 2 or 3 years, I think, and that supported himself with the writing. He did work. He worked for me at the time, so I was like very envious of that guy.
Right. Yeah. So basically, he reveals his secrets on how he's able to live his dream lifestyle and support that with his writing income. How he's able to find clients and how he's able to really position himself as the premium service, the top-notch service, so he could charge more than everybody else for his writing. And it's a brilliant way to do it. It's amazing. Like if you position yourself as the high end, the premium product, the premium service, then you're going to get premium paying clients. You're going to be a better level of clients and people who actually have money and budgets to spend and who keep coming back to you for more and more things. And that's what he was able to do and make a lot more money doing it that way. We also have my good buddy, Brian Johnson. Brian Johnson is a complete master at publishing on Amazon Kindle. He knows how to take short reports, find the right topics, the right headlines, the right categories to put them in on Amazon, publish those books. It takes him like 24 to 48 hours to get a book out there on Amazon and start making money with it. And he makes passive income each month from his writing on Amazon Kindle. So he contributed to the product, and he talks about his 6-step system that he's using to just crush it and make this passive income month after month using Amazon's free traffic, using their marketplace of hundreds of millions of buyers or whatever they have now on there that are buying products. So he's on there. We also have Annette Elton. Annette started a very profitable ghostwriting business. So what Annette would do, instead of writing articles for, say, one customer, she would write an article and create a ghostwriting business where she would sell PLR from that article and be able to sell it to multiple people instead of just selling it once and make a lot more money for one thing. So a bigger bang for her time is what she's an expert in. She's also written 25 ghost-written books for different clients, where she's charged a lot of money for clients to have their books written, and she's in huge demand. She focuses more these days on membership sites and passive income that way, as she's kind of graduated from writing, but she's hard to even get an appointment with these days in terms of the demand for people kind of wanting to get her writing and ghostwriting. So those are just some of the people that are going to be sharing their secrets, sharing what works, as well as me and Alice as well. We're sharing our case study and telling you how we got started. We started from nowhere, just like a lot of people, and we slowly built it up to the point where this is what we do for a living. We could have hangouts on Google at 1 o'clock in the day, and we don't have to go to work. And, we know we have income. Like I probably made money as we're talking on this hangout because I have products online for sale and services for sale and recurring billing payments coming in. So, that's what you should shoot for with your writing. And that's what we've accomplished. And we're more than willing to give back and share what we've learned to help others as well. So that's what I'm excited about. That's what I'm looking forward to next week. And hopefully you guys are looking forward to that as well. And we're going to be releasing this again Thursday. the 28th, and it's going to be epic.
Yes.
So any final words? I know I just like rambled on for like 10 minutes.
No,
there.
yes, it was nice to listen to. You know, I like to listen.
Okay.
But yeah, I think, you know, what you were talking about too. I think sometimes, you know, for someone who's new and thinking, okay, I want to be a writer, and they're thinking they're going to write, you know, just they're going to go in their office, they're going to write books all day and stuff. And then we're talking about this marketing stuff, and it's like overwhelming. But it's interesting that I don't actually do a lot of writing of the reports and things, because we do nonfiction content, and I don't do a lot of that writing myself anymore. But my day is still completely revolved around writing, and it's challenging writing, and it's fun, and it's me writing emails to my customers and things like that, which are so important. And it sounds like a small thing, but it's still, writing is a huge part of everything that I do. And I think that if you have that skill already, that you can really go far with it, and you can still write books. Obviously, you know, you want to write fiction, you can write fiction, but having that other piece where you're able to connect with people, whether it's through email or other, you know, adding the marketing piece to it, you know, you'll go so much further. And, you know, when people get to see the case study interview we did with you, where you did get a book deal with a big company, but you were already doing really well before that. You got yourself there and positioned yourself in order to be able to get that deal, and you talk about that more there. And I think people find that very interesting, because when you help yourself, then it's much easier to go further.
Right. And the other thing is the multiple different ways, as you mentioned, of how you can make money as a writer. But some people, they just want to find a writing job. And we do have listings of jobs that are available online and show you the best ways to position yourself to get those, you know, real type of brick and mortar type of jobs where people are looking for writers. You know, there's multiple sites. And the next level of it, though, is writing as a freelance writer, where you don't have to, you know, be accountable 9 to 5 to somebody. You write as a freelance writer is probably the next level. And we show you how to find freelance writing gigs as well. And they're obviously more plentiful because they're all over the internet. So, you know, we have our freelance writing case studies of people that show you exactly how they did it. And then the next level from there, what would you say, is creating your own products with your writing, or writing PLR, I guess. PLR would be the next level from there, but it's just one of the ways you can do it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could write PLR, you could write for people looking to get grant proposals written, or all type of different business proposals. You could do writing for that. You could write for people looking to get fiction or nonfiction books published, Kindle books. You could write for people that just need content for their blog, for their email newsletters. You could write for people that are doing school reports and research reports. There's so many different ways you could use your writing. You could write for people that are interested in having press releases written up. You could charge, you know, hundreds of dollars for that as well, having press releases and distributing those press releases for sites that want to get that done. You can write
personal letters for people if they need to send it's kind of an interesting niche, but you can write apology letters for people. You gather up the details and what the situation was. And I've seen people make, businesses out of writing love letters for people. So there's so many different interesting things that you can do.
It could be a speech writer is another thing that's out there. I mean, it is like so many different ways you could take it, and we're going to be covering all of those ways, or most of those ways, in the product that we're releasing, and showing you the best way to go about doing it. But I guess the overarching message of this is, if you're a writer, if you can write decent, then there's no reason you can't make a full-time income from that if you just apply yourself and if you learn from the right people as well as how to do it. People that have done it already, people like me and Alice, people like all those other people that I mentioned that's going to be sharing their case studies with you as well. So we want to help you get through this. We're going to have our support group to help you, take it to the next level. And if this is something you really want, I advise you to really look out for our emails on the next few days and be prepared for Thursday, because we're going to launch this thing, and it's going to be a huge help to whoever wants to jump in and be committed to this. So, that's all I have, Alice. Looking forward to it.
Thank you. I'll look. I'll just double check. I don't know that there was some people had some technical difficulty, and I know we didn't have there were some issues, people getting disconnected and things. But Gracie Marie Jones says it's very informative. Some connectivity issues. We'll watch replay when available too. Yeah, so there was a couple of people had some trouble, but it looks like we had people on the whole time. But yeah.
Yeah, blame Google. That's not us. See, they're not perfect either. Google's not perfect either.
There you go. Exactly. That's true. Yes. All right.
All right. So that was good. That was good. I'll probably watch the replay myself. I thought that was some pretty good content. And, send us some feedback. Let us know what questions you have. Let us know what we could have covered more. Let us know what you would like to see in a future presentation from us and what you'd like us to talk about. Any questions you have, send them over. We're always looking for feedback from our audience.
Send them over where?
Yeah, send them over. What email you want to use? support@writerhelpwanted.com.
Or a cat. Oh, just send it. Or what did you? No, it was mailbox, right? We'll use that one. Mailbox, right?
Oh, mailbox@writerhelpwanted.com.
I will get those. Yes.
Yes, Alice looks at those personally. And thank you all for coming on. And we look forward to working with you guys. And we'll speak to you soon. Have a great day, everyone, and take care.
All right. Bye.